Okay, hi guys. So this is the video for Agrippina, and Jesus Christ, is my crown falling on my bangs, but we shall struggle through as she did. Okay, so our queen Agrippina. Let's start. Okay, so some basic info about our baddie babe. She was part of the Julio-Claudian dynasty. She was the most influential and powerful woman. You could say she was an influencer. She absolutely was amazing because she found that she could have some tiny bit of power through the male relationships in her life, like the baddie bitch that she is. There's a lot of sexism in ancient sources because they're all, yep, you guessed it, written by men, talking about how she's, a slut, and she had all this power, but she really didn't. She was just kind of like an advisor and just, she's just a wife and a mother, but a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. She was intelligent and ambitious. And here I have the timeline. Yes, it's a little bit spicy, and yes, there are some spoilers about the plot. Okay, so 15 AD, she was born. 19 AD, Germanicus dies, which led to the family downfall. Yeah, Germanicus was her dad, and yeah, he died. 28 AD, when she was 13, she married Domitius. That sounds a bit illegal, doesn't it? Not back then, though. 37 AD, Tiberius dies, who was, her uncle, who was a real cunt. Then her brother becomes emperor and gives her honours. Then her sister Drusilla dies. Sparks me well pissed, innit? Fucking hell. Then her son Nero was born, and she waited for her uncle Tiberius. Fuck, I'm just gonna choose one. For her uncle Tiberius to kick the bucket before she had a baby, because she was scared that, which I'll delve into for reasons, but she was scared that Tiberius was gonna kill off, her child, which she should be rightfully scared of because he's a right weird prick. Yeah. Then 39 AD, plot of the Three Daggers. This is a little bit sus of her, but a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. Basically, the plot of the Three Daggers was Agrippina, Lepidus, and Livilla, her sister, in which they tried to kill her brother. Interesting that. And that resulted in exile. And, important note, they were exiled to an island, which meant because there was fuck all to do on the island, she learned how to swim. That's important for later, trust me. 40 AD, Domitius dies. Yay. Goodbye, Humbert. 41 AD, Caligula dies, her brother. She's then recalled from exile and marries Gaius Passius Crispus, who's kind of like Batman because he's a bit of a philanthropist, you know what I mean? Yeah. 47 AD, because he's old as fuck, Crispus dies. Well, that was short-lived. 49 AD, Claudius and Agrippina marry. And Claudius is her uncle. Yeah, there's a lot of that. This family tree is a circle. And he also changed the laws so that they could marry, because, a certain degree of incest was fine. Like, you could marry your cousin and whatnot, but an uncle marrying the niece was just, it was too far even for them ancient fucks, it was just like, that's gone a little bit, that's gone a little bit far. Yeah, 40 AD, she got the title of Augusta, like Augustus, who I covered, who was a Nepo baby. She's a Nepo baby too, but she worked for it. Unlike Augustus. Claudius adopts Nero and adopts out Octavia, his daughter, so that Nero and Octavia could marry. They're step-siblings. Technically. Legally they're not though. That makes it fine, obviously. Clearly. 54 AD, Claudius dies because he's old. She's really got a thing for the older men. Not her fault though. Nero becomes emperor. 49 AD, Agrippina dies by assassination at 43 years old at the hands of someone who we'll get to, which honestly you shouldn't be surprised about. Alright. Here's a quote. Agrippina was vilified by ancient sources, too fucking right. Vilified by ancient sources, not because of what she did, but because she was a woman who dared to hold any real power. Bidiori, 2013. What a G. Right, now we're going to get onto the family tree. Family circle, I should really say. And sorry, my cold war notes are just mixing up with my fucking other notes. Okay, so here's the family circle. And basically, yeah, so here's Augustus, the starter of the circle. He marries Livilia, and Livilia marries Tiberius, Claudius Nero, and Augustus also marries Scribona. Augustus and Scribona have Julia the Elder with Agrippa. Yeah, Julia the Elder, Augustus's daughter. Julia the Elder marries Agrippa, who's Augustus's best mate. So his daughter married her dad's best friend. She really is living the dream for some of us, isn't she? You weird fucks. Anyway, so then Julia the Elder and Agrippa go on to have a lot of kids. Julia the Younger, Gaius Caesar, Lucius Caesar, Postumus Agrippa. Postumus was a right fucking goer. He was accused of beastly activities. I think you all know what that means. Something to do with animals. A little bit weird. Quite weird. And amongst those children that Julia the Elder and Agrippa had was Agrippina the Elder. Agrippina the Elder went on to marry Germanicus, who I left out for some reason. Germanicus is also related to Augustus, as you can see. Because on this side, Augustus was with Livilia, Tiberius, Claudius Nero together. They had Drusus and Antonia, and in turn, they had Drusus, and Drusus married Antonia. Going down the line, that meant there was Germanicus and Claudius was the emperor at some point. Livilia and Augustus, this is so confusing. Livilia and Tiberius Claudius Nero had Tiberius. Can you change the fucking name, please? And Tiberius, this one here, is the fucking real cunt. Okay, that's Agrippina the Elder's uncle. And they have Drusus. So Agrippina the Elder, Agrippina the Younger's mother, Agrippina the Elder and Germanicus have Nero, Drusus, Gaius Caligula, who becomes emperor, Livilia, and Drusilla, and Agrippina the Younger. And Agrippina the Younger marries her uncle Claudius, some Batman bloke called Crispus, and some dickhead called Domitius, who's like that guy in that movie I won't say, the really bad written one, It Ends With Us. Yeah, he's real abusive and shit. And she had the baby with Domitius, and that was Nero, and then Claudius later adopts Nero and adopts out his own daughter. But anyway, that's the simplified version of the family tree. It's more fucking complicated. Anyway, so here's some family context. Her mother and father were the golden couple of Rome. They were absolutely stunning together. She accompanied her mother, her father, and her family, and they went on many, many military campaigns. She learned through her mother how to gain power through men in favour. Because Agrippina the Younger's mother, Agrippina the Elder, was really popular with the soldiers. You wonder why, don't you? She was educated, and in her early life, she lived in the provinces. Germanicus died when she was 4. Her mother, now here's the fucking downfall, because she just couldn't stop yapping. Her mother told her children that their uncle, Tiberius, had done it, had poisoned their father. It really pissed Tiberius off and led to the downfall. I mean, this is just what happens when you talk shit and find out, you know what I mean? Here's a painting of Agrippina with her father's ashes, painted by Sir Lawrence in 1768. Lovely. At least she has some nice things in her life. Agrippina the Elder built up support against Tiberius, which resulted in one of Tiberius's people, Sejanus, like that bloke in the Hunger Games. He sent letters to the Senate charging Agrippina with insubordination and a disobedient spirit. Because she's a woman, eh? Yeah. And then also, Agrippina the youngest sibling, Nero, not her son, but her sibling Nero, because they all have the same fucking name, was charged with homosexual indecency. Agrippina the younger was sent to live with her great-grandmother, Livia, along with her sisters and brother Gaius. Gaius's stay there didn't last long though. Nero was banished to a prison island, like Prospero. Thank God English is over. Fuck me. Nero was forced to himself. Drusus was imprisoned and starved to death. Agrippina the Elder, Agrippina the Younger's mother, was exiled and starved. Caligula, who is her brother who goes on to be the emperor, lived with Uncle Claudius and was treated as a slave and was exposed to a lot of vile shit with women and parties. Kind of like P. Diddy. I didn't say it, Eminem did. Anyway. Yeah, so then later, Caligula, once Tiberius is offed, he's deadened, Caligula becomes emperor, and he puts his sisters on a coin, which is really lovely, and he gives them the rights of the Vestal Virgins. Here's him and his sisters on the coin. Ain't that lovely of him? It's a shame they tried to kill him. But anyway, girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. Sisters were exiled for the plot of the 3 daggers. Then the sisters return and give him an imperial funeral. Oh, and also because that Caligula was so nice to his sisters, Agrippina was accused of incest with her brother. It's like in ancient times they really just had to start shit because there was nothing else going on. But really, you could just say shit that was going on because there's just crazy shit going on, but they don't really give a shit about the truth. Kind of like modern reporting now, innit? Okay, now. Alright, then here we go. We're getting to the end, don't worry. Agrippina had a lot of marriages. The first one, in 28 BC, with an arsehole, violent prick. And she married him when she was 13, on her birthday. King Charles what? Did you marry Diana just after she turned 18 or something? Or was it 19? Does it really matter? Fucking weird. Domitius is called a loathsome man in every respect. From Suetonius. Yeah. So Domitius ran over this kid when he was in his car. No reason, he just fucking did it because he's a prick. Then she married Batman. Poor thing. Gaius Crispus, 41 AD. He was a prominent Roman figure and a philanthropist. He honestly kind of seems like the sanest one. But he probably had some weird dark shit going on as well, isn't it? You never know what his internet history was, you know? What scrolls was he taking out of the Library of Alexandria? That's not even the right place of, you know, the time period, but whatever, I don't give a fuck. Now we're getting to the end. Hold on. Okay. There's Claudius. Here are some sources. The Gemma Claudius, where Claudius and Agrippina are on the coin. And do you notice that they look similar? It's because it's her uncle. Don't forget that. There's her uncle. And there they are on the coin together as well. And there they are in Aphrodisias. Aphrodisias says Bastion. The I. Claudius and Agrippina. Yeah. So here's what I got on Claudius. Here's the tea. 49 AD, they were married. He was her uncle. He was cruel. Old as fuck. Immoral. He changed laws so that he could marry his niece. He had a previous marriage to Messalina, who was similar in her age and was called a slut. And there was this story that was going round saying that she fucked 24 men in 24 hours. Honestly, good on her, but like, it's not any of your fucking business, is it? She can fuck whoever she wants. I bet you're fucking like, you fucking servant, fucking magister acquittum horseboy. I bet you are. Freaky shit they were doing back then, I swear. Historians hypothesized she was playing the long game in the marriage, as Agrippina was already wealthy, but she wanted to get her son in line on the throne. She had the tiniest amount of political influence, and that really pissed off the ancient writers, because God forbid a woman can have that much amount of power. She was basically just an advisor. Her political capabilities were boiled down to people would console her and ask her to put in a good word with Claudius. There's one. And she would accompany him. How dare she stand with him on accompanying him to console? She encouraged Claudius to conquer Great Britain, accompanied Claudius, involved in foreign negotiations. She was really just standing there though, wasn't she? Just really going like, oh honey, I think that would be a good idea. Or, oh, do you think we could do this instead? Because she was being a baddie, she was being manipulative apparently, but not really. She was just trying to get her little ounce of opinion in there, wasn't she? But she wasn't allowed to put in. She was only allowed to put out. Here are some sources about Claudius and Agrippina's marriage. She possessed all power as she dominated Claudius, Cassius Dio, prick, in the habit of consulting him, Cassius Dio. As soon as she came to live in the palace, she had complete control over Claudius, Cassius Dio. Am I surprised? She had more power than Claudius himself. That one's from Suetonius, actually. The state had changed completely, and everything was subject to the control of a woman. Suetonius. Okay, now we move on to the story of Agrippina and her son, fuckwit Nero. Okay, here are some sources. In Horrible Histories film, The Horrible Histories film, 2019, depicted the relationships in humorous situations. There's a painting of a shipwreck. I'll get onto that, don't fucking worry. Nero was the son of Domitius, the stepson of Claudius, married his stepsister Octavia. Nero succeeds Claudius and becomes emperor. Agrippina adjusted and shapes Nero's early reign. This is highlighted in quote, "Not only was she the emperor's mother, ... helped define the contours of Nero's early reign." Edward Chamberlain, 2003. See, that's something nice. The ancient people could learn a thing or two. And it all kind of goes downhill because, well, he was being a bit of a prick because he didn't want his mum around. So he kind of found that Mummy was being a little bit overbearing. And you know, the ancient sources kind of agreed with him because he was a man and a woman was sort of in the background of power. He sought to rid himself of his mother's authority and saw no other option than murder. Tacitus, ain't that lovely? Another one. More incest allegations. Offered him more than a mother's love. Tacitus. First, she's being accused of sleeping with her brother, and now she's accused of sleeping with her son. Not only, so basically, Nero comes up with a plan to off Mummy. And here's this painting about the shipwreck of Agrippina. Gustav, 1902. So he tried to drown her in a shipwreck, thinking that she couldn't swim, but because she already tried to, you know, kill her brother in the plot of the Three Daggers, and she was stuck on an island with fuck all to do and no Wilson around, she learned how to swim. So she survived that, and she basically came back dripping wet, and she's like, "Do you try to kill me?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then this is highlighted in the quote. Agrippina was aware of his plots, but refused to act like a mother to a tyrant. Tacitus. I mean, would you continue to act like a mother after he tried to kill you? No, you wouldn't. Anyway, and then, because Mummy, dearest, was still around, Nero did what he could only see as the only option. And well, he got an assassin and offed Agrippina in 59 AD. Via an assassination, baby girl was murdered after marrying old as fuck men, after giving Nero fucking nepo baby privileges and him being emperor and shit. Just offed his mum. And then she said, because she's a baddie bitch, she said, "Strike me in my womb," as her last words to the executioner assassin. And that's the story of Agrippina the Younger.